All right, we're back. And so, I don't know. Like I said, he's definitely an amazing craftsman, Alan Moore, but he's just... He's very narcissistic.
Yeah, he is. And I definitely got that sense when I was doing my research of the graphic novel and the movie adaptation. I got that sense reading some of the things that he said, that he's just very, very full of himself in that way.
Which is why, you know, it's... I try not to let that bother me when I read his books, because, you know...
Well, and there's a difference between liking an author and liking an author's work. Like, I don't know if I would like Alan Moore if I met him, but I love his work.
I don't think I would either. Like, but yeah. So what are we on right now?
Other characters.
Other characters.
Yeah, we finished up antagonists, and by the way, I actually got a comment on this by somebody who insisted that Adam Susan was not a protagonist. He was he was pure evil. Which you can make that argument in the movie, but
definitely
but in the book, because I think he specifically said Adam Susan, in the book not so much. He is sympathetic, and he does rationalize his point of view, and he rationalizes it fairly well. And they do treat him like a protagonist in as much as this story can even have a protagonist, because everybody is morally gray at best.
Yeah, absolutely, and.
This is one of the categories. Like, sometimes I'll have categories that'll be like toss-ups, where I could honestly argue either side, but some of them will be, you know,
like story and V, you know.
Yeah, like story and V. I could have gone either way on those had I decided to go on the side of book on those. But with this, I knew that this character was going to be movie simply because of how they portray England. You don't get that in the book really at all. And
like picking up on that was actually that was entirely you. It's something I barely even thought about when I was watching the movie. But you know, like when I went back and watched it, you know, I had kind of already seen some of your comments on it, and you know, I started to notice some of those things, and like I mean, I thought it was fantastic the way they portrayed that.
And that's the nice thing about doing a collaborative review like this is that you get the different perspectives. Like you thought of some things that I hadn't that hadn't occurred to me, and I obviously thought of some things that hadn't occurred to you. So you get both of those points of view, and so you get almost more of a deeper analysis than you would have with just one person.
Yeah, which I think is. Well, I haven't seen the comments on this really all that much. I've seen a couple of them, but like, I mean, how did people generally react to this one?
Better than I expected them to. Like I expected like Alan Moore purists to hang me, but most people were pretty much in agreement.
I find that the people that watch your channel are pretty objective people on the whole.
They are for the most part, and usually any negative comments I'll get will be people that just kind of stumbled upon and are like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And like the example I gave earlier with the guy who insisted that Adam Susan was an antagonist, that's probably the worst comment that I got, as far as just squids of anger.
It reminds me of the epilogue video. You know, the defense of the epilogue.
Yeah,
and
that was the same thing. I was expecting people to attack me for that, and they really didn't.
I think that the reason people are so respectful on your channel is that you definitely approach things with, you know, a very rational way of doing it most of the time.
I try.
And so, well, I mean, you've got the hat on, so...
Well, yeah, exactly.
And so I think that people just sort of, you know, are more inclined to be receptive when you're talking about it, when you don't concentrate so much on the pathos.
Yeah, and I really do try to do that with most of my... I mean, if something really... Like, there's rants. I'll have my rants, but my rants are usually things like really almost meaningless, like piddling things. And then here's the few graphic novel clips I was able to find on Google Images. But yeah, when I'm doing a review, I really do try my hardest to be as objective as possible. Even if I'm reviewing something that I don't particularly like, I try to explain rationally, this is why I don't like it, this is why I think it's subpar.
Yeah, I think when it comes to that sort of thing, for me, the hardest thing for me to do that with is Twilight. I have
touched Twilight.
I have kind of doomed myself to just to be involved with the Twilight series, with the Sparkly Nonsense saga, and it's just you know, people like those reviews because most of the there aren't really any Twihards who watch my channel.
No, there aren't many watching mine either.
And so people, you know, like they want to see me rip into it and tear into it, but I think that I keep my composure fairly well when I'm talking about it, because they're definitely stupid books and stupid movies.
Yeah.
But, and I think that being able to be rational about it helps you be more entertaining.
Yeah, I think,
because you can kind of think about, what's funny.
Yeah.
With it, and like the first two Sparkly Nonsense movies, quite hilarious actually, because of how bad, in that sort of Mystery Science Theater way.
Yeah. Exactly.
In just how bad they are. I mean, like the one I was disappointed by most was the third movie, just because it didn't have it wasn't bad in that way. It was just boring.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
But
I haven't seen any of them, but
I don't blame you. I really don't.
Yeah, although my ultimatum on my channel still stands. If I get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I will do a books versus movie review of the Twilight, of the Sparkling Nonsense saga.
I'm wondering, you should, if you ever get to the point where you get 8,408 subscribers, you should do something there.
If. That's a pretty big if.
Hey, you never know. I mean, there's... That sort of thing can happen in a day. I mean, look at look at Gretchen.
That's
Gemma,
yeah, and that's
like the Wheezy bump.
That's true. Yeah, and she's I mean, she's huge now.
Yeah.
I mean, she really is, and deservedly so. But yeah, I mean, I might get my...
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, youtube.com/user/gemllama.
If you're not subscribed to her, you really should be.
Yeah. I look her up.
Put a link in the doobly-doo.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I actually pointed down, even though they can't
for all two people that have subscribed to this channel so far. But what were we saying about that?
I don't remember. Oh, ripping into Twilight, like being rational and making jokes about.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I was kind of pretty much done with that thought anyway.
Yeah,
but what are we going on right here? This is
imagery. No, we finished up imagery. We're up to this is story.
This is story.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is very much a personal preference sort of category. Like,
it really is.
This, the story and the portrayal of V are something that you could have just endless discussions about, because they are very different in so many ways.
And that's, and this is where I'm very much of two minds even. And this is, book Matt versus movie Matt even. Just... I like dark stories, and I like stories that are uncertain, and I like stories that really analyze these complex issues, but at the same time, I also like stories that kind of make me feel good at the end, that have that element of hope at the end. And you get that with, the first thing with the book and the other thing with the movie. So I easily could have gone the other way on this. I could have written the script to go the other way on this, and inevitably decided with movie.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's just, I think what decides it more for me is that not so much that the movie requires less patience, because they honestly they had it takes about as long to read the book as it does the movie.
It does. It doesn't take that long to read the book. It didn't take me long.
But there were there are all sorts of minor things that I have issues with the book and the movie, of course.
Yeah.
But I remember in imagery there was the thing where. I was having a really hard time connecting names and faces for a while.
Yeah.
Just because the main characters, like, that's my only complaint against David Lloyd's art style, really, other than the fact that, there's a little bit too much use of blacks sometimes.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't always tell what was going on in the panels, but the nice thing about a graphic novel is you can take as long as you want to kind of study this panel and
But those were definitely minor things, and like I said, it was the government that really did it for me in the movie's favor.
Yeah, and I think for me it was the people of England, like the other characters category that really decided it for me, because that just in my mind pulled the whole story together.
Well, yeah, so story was definitely very. I think we're getting to the end of this one, so we're gonna have to move on to part 3, where we will be talking about something else.